Welcome to ISML Analytics Become a Certified Data Analytics Training Program. I would start by introducing myself and then, um, fortunately or unfortunately, I get to see your names as well. But some names are not familiar. You introduce yourself, you tell us your name, the country you are in, and your expectations. Okay, so I am Benadotre. I'll be the facilitator for this program. Great. In the absence of no questions, let's quickly move to the course modules. You know that in this training, we'll be learning statistics, we'll be learning Excel complete end-to-end data analytics pipeline with Excel, and then we'll learn about business statistics. We would also be learning about SQL for querying data from databases of organizations or extracting data from organizational database and then bringing it into Excel or Power BI to analyze, to create reports and dashboard and all of that. And then I also introduce you to some cloud-based platform we used to deploy analytics. That's Azure Databricks. Okay, Azure Databricks. So we do Python as well. Then the ultimate is to get international certification from Microsoft. I just had a discussion with Corsa earlier on when he joined. So he's telling me that in Finland, Tableau, the number of people that use Tableau is like 20%. It's Power BI. 80% of the organizations in Finland are using Power BI. And when you check the statistics, Power BI for the past 5 years or so has been the leader. It used to be Tableau. The dynamics are shifting, and because Microsoft already has the distribution community and ecosystem, it's become so easy and to be the market leader. So far as the package, the software is good. Power BI is fantastic and integrates with all Microsoft solutions. All Microsoft solutions. So I'm not surprised Microsoft is winning, or Power BI has become the leader now. Okay, Power BI has become the leader. So when I teach you SQL, teach you Excel, in fact, you will also understand that Power BI is Excel, but it's Excel in a cloud-based environment that allows you to do big data analytics. Okay. It's important that after learning Excel, learning SQL, learning Python for data analytics, you get certified by Power BI or you get certified by Microsoft as a data analyst. Okay, and that is the end game. Fantastic. So we're starting. First 6 weeks is dedicated to Excel. I do this intentionally, and I do this to break the grounds for Power BI because everything we do in Excel or everything you can do with Excel, you do with Power BI. Like I told you initially, Power BI is Excel, and I'm going to prove to you that Power BI is Excel. The only difference is that Power BI is cloud based and allows you to connect to some kind of big data systems. Excel can do same, but Excel is just limited in how it can analyze big data. So the Microsoft designed Power BI based on all the features in Excel, all the features in Excel. Okay, so we're starting with Excel. This is the module Excel for data analytics or data analytics with Excel. Module 1, which is today, week 1, is overview of data analytics and introduction to Excel. Then week 2, which will be next week, we'll look at Excel formulas and function in details. Okay, today we'll do some catch around that. Then module 3 or week 3, we'll look at business statistics with Excel. How we use statistics to make business decisions. And I think after this one, you insult your teachers and your lecturers for not making the statistics and the mathematics and the algebra they were teaching you so practical for you to apply to business problems. Then week 4, we look at modeling data, putting data in a multi-dimensional way and relating them, then transforming data with Power Query, Power Pivot, and DAX. DAX stands for Data Analysis Expressions. It's a powerful feature in Excel. But like I told you, Power Query, Power Pivot, DAX, all of these are in Power BI. So when you get introduced in Excel and you become conversant with it, migrating to Power BI becomes so easy and seamless. Okay, so easy and seamless. Okay, and then we'll be looking at tables, charts, pivot tables, and pivot charts. Then, of course, you combine all the skill sets from module 1 to module 5 to build automated dashboard, an interactive dashboard. Dashboard right in Excel that is automated. And today we're talking about robotic process automation, where you set up your dashboard and your report once. And then, so far as it's the same department, the same data set being generated weekly and monthly, all that you do is to change the data source or do some query or settings that the new source will append to the existing query. Then your dashboard will be updated in real time. So you design your dashboard once, and in every week when the new data comes, you don't do the hard work. You just put the data in a particular folder, bam, and it's done. Your reports are ready. So when the senior manager calls, tells you that, oh, I need this one by tomorrow, you just take 2 seconds. It's done. But you don't go and show it to him, because if you show it to him, give you more job. Okay. Okay. So, what are the objectives for module 1? By the end of this module, you should understand the data science ecosystem. What is data science? And then the various fields or rules in the data science ecosystem. Then use simple Excel functions, enter data in Excel, format it, and then understand or appreciate data types, basic data types. Okay, then understand various terminologies in data analysis or data analytics, then appreciate the business application of statistics, be able to use simple statistics such as standard deviations, mean, mode to make informed decisions. Okay, all right. Now, my question is, what is the difference between data and information? If you don't understand the difference between data and information, you will miss the whole idea of data analytics. Okay. So data is raw facts. Okay. Donald mentioned color. Color blue. The blue is data. The color itself, not the word. So the color blue, in terms of the wavelength of the light, colors are formed by wavelengths when light rays fall on them. So that color blue is data. Okay. Now, this color means different things to different people. So the meaning associated to the color when somebody sees blue, when Ekuban sees blue, it sees as 8 brand. When I see red on 14 February, the color is the data. But the information I get from it is that 14 February, or it's what? That 14 February is Valentine's Day. White is color, that is data. But when somebody sees white, he sees purity. So the person has processed it and sees that age of people here. When you put the ages together, if there are three, you sum their ages and divide by the number three, the total number of people three, you get the average age. That out of these three, at least they will fall. Somebody will either be here or there. They will be maybe 28 years. If nobody is, if you are not of any age at all, at least you are 28 years or something. Okay. Then height. So if I say my height is 5 feet 5 inches, when I say this, you process the figure you had, which is raw data. This is data, raw facts. 5 feet 5.2 or 5.5, 5 inches. This data that you have, if you have the mechanism in your brain, you'll be able to explain or interpret it or get the understanding that, oh, somebody who is 5 feet tall is relatively tall. who is 5 feet of height, sorry, is tall. If somebody tells you that, oh, is 2 feet, then when you get that value, you are able to process that a human being who is 2 feet means that the person is short. So the number you heard undergone processing in your brain, and then the result you had in terms of classification is the information. Okay, so there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's say we are 11 plus myself is 12. So we are 12 people here. That's the number. How many people are here? We are 12. Then I can go further to look at, okay, out of this 12, there are 1, 2, 3. There are 3 ladies. 3 ladies and 9 gentlemen. 12 as the total number of participants here is the data. Being able to segregate or segment the data is information. So I can deal with it. Oh, I have 3 females and 9 males. Great. All right. So the first big terminology is data mining, mining, galamsey. So it is said that data is the new oil. So what do we do to oil? We extract it, we clean it, and we commodify it. So anytime you hear data mining, think about how we mine things here in Ghana, how the Chinese people and the politicians are mining in our country, mining for gold and all of that, doing galamsey. They put machinery to the grounds, they dig the ground, and they dig the ground in search of something precious, which is the gold, the mineral. So what they are looking for inside the soil here will be the data. So data mining is the use of analytical tools instead of bulldozers and what have you. You use analytical tools to understand patterns and relationships that are in large data set like the soil, the ground that they dig. They use the machines to dig, and then they find some substances. And then when they find a substance, they wash them. And when they wash them, they're able to get something useful. Data mining is using analytical techniques to uncover patterns and relationships that exist in large data set. So typical examples will be doing cluster analysis or sentiment analysis. I think sentiment analysis at this stage in our training will be easier for you. I'll not move into cluster analysis, but cluster analysis is segmentation, grouping customers or users into groups, clusters. Sentiment analysis is customers' reactions, their emotions towards a particular brand. And today you see this on social media a lot. Something happens about a brand or in this country, and data on X or Instagram, on Facebook, people are commenting about it. You can extract the comment or scrape the comment of people from social media platforms and then analyze it and see the negatives and the positive reactions or emotions people are attaching to it. That is sentiment. The sentiment of people to the date to the action or the activity or the event that has occurred about a brand, about a politician, or about a country. Okay. So when you are doing that, you are mining the data. You are mining the data. Okay. So that's data mining. Then another key terminology is dashboard. What is dashboard? Dashboard is simply a screen which you design. Is like a software. It's a user interface software you design, which by the end of the 6th week you'll be able to design, which is made up of tables, charts, maps, summary statistics. Summary statistics are mean or average, the arithmetic mean or average, um, total, which is sum, maximum, minimum, and all of this. Okay, so a dashboard is actually a screen that shows metrics or performance of organization based on their metrics or based on their data. Okay, based on their data, visualize in tables or graphs or charts or maps, or what we call one number visual: total number of customers, total number of products, average sales, average discounts, month over month sales. All of these metrics are put on a dashboard to help management monitor their performance, okay, so they can make decision, okay. They will understand what is happening in their business, okay. So for corporate level managers, daily dashboards summarize sales by region, current inventory levels, and other metrics like I mentioned. But first line managers, so whilst I'm here, let me expatiate on this. In any organization, there are three levels of management. There's the senior management, which constitute the board, and then the MD. The MD, together with the board of directors, constitute the senior management level. They make strategic decisions for the organization. These strategic decisions span across 3 years, 5 years. And in strategy or business management, we call this one long term. Okay, long term planning. So they are into strategic decisions for the organization. Then they pass on these strategic decisions to middle level managers. So the second layer of management is called middle level managers. Middle level managers are tactical in nature. The strategies that senior management have developed to shape the direction of the organization, middle level managers take these strategies and develop tactics. And these tactics are strategies to achieve the specific goals by specific time periods. Then these tactics are passed on to first line managers who are operational. So they are in charge of operations. So a first line manager will want to, if you are developing a dashboard for a first line manager, he will be interested in staffing levels, daily things, okay, short-term forecast. So they are in charge of the day-to-day operations of the organization. So at any point in time, they have to see how many employees we have. In the next 1 month, how many will be going for leave? Next 3 months, all of this. So short term. And in this regard, in management and strategy, short term is any period that is less than 12 months. And long term is any period more than 12 months. Okay. Great. Then we move to the other big terminology, and in fact, it's called big data. What is big data? Big data simply means data that comes in high volume. A dozen. It comes in high volume. It's voluminous. Okay, and it's not just voluminous. It comes at high speed. Okay, high speed, which is velocity. High speed, like in split of seconds, the amount of data that will be coming into the database is huge. Okay, huge. Take Twitter, Facebook, for instance. Across the world, across the globe, at every second, people are posting, people are going to TikTok, people are tweeting, people are doing this. That is a big data system. Okay, so voluminous, veracity, or high speed. Okay, and then growth. Okay, then the other key thing is that it is structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. So big data is data that is in high volumes, comes at high speed, and grows exponentially. Then the data that is coming is either structured, like data about customers and products they purchased, semi-structured data that can be customers, the product, or pictures, or audio, or video, undefined. Some are defined, others are not defined. They're unstructured, undefined at all. So you take Facebook, you take Instagram, all these social media platforms. You take LinkedIn, for instance, and from today, if you don't have a LinkedIn account, it's important that you get one and upgrade yourself there. It's for professionals. You can't, it's haram to have a Facebook account as a data analyst and not have a LinkedIn account. Okay. So unstructured data is data that has no format. Can you imagine if LinkedIn and Facebook define the type of data we can post there, like you can only post videos? No. At any point in time, they don't know what you are coming to post. So they have given the flexibility for that text box you put in there, that box, what is on your mind, that is accepting the data. They have given the flexibility that they don't determine what you should put there. So at any point in time, when you put text, they will accept it. When you put video, they will accept it. When you put pictures, they will accept it. I think the only thing that they don't accept is audio or so. Okay, so that's unstructured data. Along the line, we'll give examples of that. I think I've explained um, big data in practice, financial data, e-commerce data. So Amazon, for instance, imagine that the number of people that are making purchases on Amazon or on Alibaba or on eBay. Imagine the number of people that are using Netflix or be watching Netflix on 25th December or 14th February. Whole lot of people will be watching it. Okay, then we come to another terminology, and that's data maths. A maths for data. A maths for data. What is a data math? So if you look at this schema, okay, if you look at this schema, you could see that this is data warehouse. Okay, see this is as data warehouse. And within the data warehouse, there's something called metadata. Metadata, in simple terms, is data about data. Meta. You see, so Facebook changed its group of company name from Facebook to metadata. Hey, I said meta to Meta. Meta in IT and in database terminologies means description, something about data. And you know, Facebook is all about data. Instagram is all about data. In fact, they are making money because of the data they are able to collect, store, process, and sell to individuals, to companies for targeted advertisement and all of that. So metadata. So any organization that have a database or any a place where you are storing data, you store description about the data. Oh, okay, this is data about customers. I have the first name of the customer, the last name, I have the telephone number and the email address. Then when you indicate that the first name will be text, so don't worry if you don't understand text. Text is maybe my name is Bernardochi, Bernard. That is text, the alphabet, the characters. Then age will be numeric, numbers. So indicating the data type, okay, that this one is text, this one, the age will be number, and then the date of birth will be date. You are designing what is called metadata. And then sometimes you tell us that, okay, this one will accept 25 characters. Okay, so a warehouse, data warehouse, after this, we'll explain data warehouse shortly. So within a data warehouse, just like a warehouse that stores inventory or items for an organization, you have the items there. In this case, the data in the warehouse. The data in the warehouse, like Melcom's warehouse, we have different things: electronics, flowers, and food stuff or groceries. So in that warehouse, when you take all the data relating to electronics, separate electronics from furniture, then you also separate um, flowers apart. Okay, then the individual separations or groupings is called a data mart. In respect, in an organizational database system or data warehouse, you know that most organizations have different functional areas. So here, functional units or functional areas mean departments. So organization will have accounting department, marketing department, relationship and something department, purchasing department. So the data that the organization is storing in their database or in their data warehouse, there's some expert or analyst in the organization that is able to extract data from the database or the data warehouse that purposely serves the needs of the HR department. So only the HR data, employee, their date of birth, the retirements, whatever their salary, then that for HR. Then anything about purchasing, the data engineer, who is the analyst that pulls the data, pulls all data sets related to sales and stage them. So all data related to sales is a sales data mart. All data related to HR is HR data mart. So the HR can go into the system and will not be interacting with the warehouse, but will be interacting with the HR data mart. Okay, I hope that is clear enough. So the HR manager, for instance, like Mrs. Ofori, who who is HR, and she's learning analytics. When you go to the organization and they give you access to their database and their data warehouse, you will be pulling HR data from the HR data mart and do analytics on it or reporting the number of employees we have, the staff levels, attrition rates, and all of that as the metrics that you have: the best performing employees, the lowest performing employees, the longest serving employees. So you will not be looking at sales, you'll not be looking at inventory. Your focus is on HR. Okay. All right. Okay. So I've explained all of them to here in the math. So financial data maths. Okay. Then we move to data warehouse in particular. So what is a data warehouse? If you understand data math as segregation or parts of the data in the data warehouse that serves the purpose of a particular department in the organization, then when you bring all the data math for accounting, data math for sales and marketing, data math for HR, when you bring all of them together into one repository, then you have what is called what? Data warehouse. Okay, data warehouse. So data warehouse is the amalgamation of different data maths of the organization, or different data mats within the database of the organization. So the goal of data warehouse is to integrate, amalgamate, get an enterprise-wide corporate data into one place, and that single place will serve the purpose of every department. So if you are in the marketing, you go into the data warehouse and you access the marketing data mats. That's all. Uh, you don't go to the finance data mart, because in fact they will not even give you access to the finance data mart. Okay, so it allows users to run queries and produce reports and perform analysis quickly. All right, one key thing is that data warehouses are optimized for SQL, and that's why as a data analyst you must understand SQL, because remember this diagram. So you as the user will have to pull this one. So if you are the HR, you have to pull, or the finance person, you have to learn how to pull the data from the data warehouse. Okay, you have to learn how to pull your data mart. That's how come I am teaching SQL. And when you check the job description for data analyst, you realize that they will outline you should be Power BI user, Excel, advanced Excel user, and in addition to the soft skills, you should be able to write queries. Okay, so any data warehouse allows users to write queries like a question. Okay, I want all customers that made a transaction with us last year December. That is a query. So you write this query to the data warehouse or your data mart and retrieves it. So data warehouses are designed for that. And ideally, they are designed to store data in a tabular format, that is a table format, using relational database management system. We'll come to RDBMS when we do SQL. Okay. Then we move to another terminology, data lakes. So data lakes are a centralized place. Repository is like a place we store things. Okay. For storing huge amounts of raw unprocessed data from different sources. Okay. So when you have a data lake, what we mean is that, let's say, um, okay, I want to go to the UK, so I'll use Tesco in UK. So Tesco is one of the most popular grocery shop in the UK, where I'll be going very soon. In UK, let's say Tesco has different branches. They have branch in Woolwich, Loughborough, Birmingham. Tell mention some of the areas there. You know, mention areas in UK. Hey. So if you take Tesco for instance, they will have branches in the areas you mentioned, and then they would also, Tesco is usually, it's predominantly an in-person shop. They don't do online. I don't know if now they do online, but the last time I went there, they didn't do online. So their sales come from different branches, and then let's say they have an option where you customers can place order by phone, so they will call to purchase, and it will be delivered to them. Or they will do email order, email purchase order. Customers can also purchase by email, okay, or via a form on their website, and then to be delivered to them. Not a full e-commerce, but there's a form you fill to place the order. So these are the sales channels: sales from email, from phone, and from physical branches. Data lakes integrate sales from the physical branches, from phone, and from what? Email. I hope that is clear enough. Okay. So it's also designed to accommodate high volume, variety, velocity. These are the big four V's of big data. So anytime you see high volume, variety, velocity, then you should know that big data is coming to mind. So data lakes are designed for big data. They store raw and unstructured data. So the data can be in any format. Okay. And then they support real-time streaming, and like I indicated, big data analytics frameworks like Hadoop. Facebook uses Hadoop. So these are big data analytics framework, Hadoop and Spark. They are used to process any database that receives data in high volume, unstructured, semi-structured, and structured. Hadoop is the big data analytics um, framework to do that. Okay, to be able to do um, develop data lakes, you must have programming language in SQL, which I'll teach you, Python, which I'll introduce you to. So at least you benefit. You get to learn SQL, you get to learn Python along the line. So it means that going forward, you can be doing what we call data engineering, which I'll be explaining shortly. Okay, so I think the last but one technical thing is OLAP. Hmm. What is OLAP and OLTP? So these are two terminologies you must be familiar with from today. So OLAP stands for Online Analytical Processing, and then OLTP stands for Online Transaction. From today, just get it that OLTP is like e-commerce platform, Amazon e-commerce platform, where or Melcom e-commerce platform, Jumia e-commerce platform, Alibaba e-commerce platform, or you go to the game or Accra Mall and you are buying something. The software that they are using to scan the QR code, the barcode reader to scan your items into their database is that online transaction processing system. So any database that captures, stores, and processes data from transactions in real time as you are making the transaction, as you are purchasing, that's an OLTP. So when you're using the ATM, you're using your Momo, it is an OLTP because you are making transaction in real time. Could you imagine you go to the ATM and you want to withdraw money, and when you withdraw, it doesn't give you how much your balance is. it has to take like 1 year or 1 month or even five minutes. If it takes 5 minutes for you to know your balance, how much is left, or the money to come to you, or the money to be withdrawn, you'll be mad. You go to the ATM, want to withdraw, then 5 minutes you are still standing there. It has processed everything and the money is not coming. Hey, trouble. So capturing and storing all of this is OLTP. Then when the data is captured in real time, it is stored in the a data warehouse. Okay. So whilst you are making the purchase and capturing and storing, capturing it, it takes it, looks at the price, how much you have, does all of this in real time, your balance, check to see if how much you want to withdraw is commensurate with your balance or you are allowed to withdraw it. Do all of this in real time. Then when you are done, it updates to the database. Okay, it updates to the database, which is OLAP. So it goes back to update to the main database that is there, the data warehouse, business data warehouse. And it's this business data warehouse where you can perform analytical processing. You can um, do, you can find out how many transactions that has been made. You can aggregate the data to find out what has been happening. So you realize that OLAP uses complex queries to analyze aggregated data. Aggregated data is where maybe you have data by ages of people, specific ages, and you group them from 18 to 24, 25 to 30, that. How many people made purchase of this transaction within this age group? That's aggregated data. So OLAP deals with aggregating historical data. Historical data is the transactions that the OLTP has stored, captured and stored. That is historical data. Okay, right. Okay, this one is too technical. When we do SQL, I would explain it. But the only thing, there are two models for designing data warehouse: the Imon model and the Kimball model. The key thing I want you to know here is, you see 3NF is normalization. Um, and then ETL. So the only key thing I'll talk about here is ETL. ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. Extract, transform, and load. Okay, we'll use Excel Power Query to do ETL. As we do that, you have better appreciation of what that is. Okay, all right. Now we are zooming to analytics. I have my 40 minutes or 35 minutes is up. 1, 2, 3. Give me 15 minutes, and then after this, I'll also give you 10 minutes break. Then we'll zoom into our practicals or lab sessions. Okay, so there are three predominant categories of analytics, three categories or categorization, three general. Some people have proposed others in between, but predominantly there are three categories of analytics: descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. Okay, so what are these? Descriptive analytics has to do with telling us what has happened in the past, historical data. So we are in February. When you have data about last month's 2024 January data set about the sales of the organization, and you analyze it, okay, to tell us, okay, total sales for January 2024 was 4.3 million US dollars. That is descriptive analytics. Descriptive analytics. Then use descriptive statistics. Remember, I said one descriptive statistic is sum, sum. So summation, average, the arithmetic mean, median, okay? All of these are descriptive statistics. Maximum, minimum are all descriptive statistics that are used to tell us what has happened in the past about organizational data. Okay, sometimes you use what if models to in descriptive analytics. So you analyze, you do your queries, your reports, you visualize them to tell us what has happened. You can visualize with pie charts, bar charts, line charts, scatter plots, and then you do your trend line to tell us some patterns that is there. That is descriptive analytics, telling us what has happened in the past. Okay. These three distinctions are very important. If you don't understand any aspect, make sure you draw my attention when I'm done with the three. So the second one is predictive. So descriptive is the past, historical data, just telling us what has happened in the organization in regards to its performance or its data set. But predictive is forecasting, predicting, forecasting. So it deals with taking the historical data or past data to predict the future, or possible events that are likely to happen. Okay. Some outcomes that are likely to happen. Okay. So, or to assess the effect of one variable on the other. When we change advertising by 25 units or 25%, how is our sales going to increase? This will be regression. So when you regress advertising on sales, you regress advertising amount, what is going to be the output for our sales? Intuitively, we've learned that increase 1 unit increase in advertising will lead to a corresponding 1 unit increase in sales. But you don't just say it intuitively. The time that managers use intuition to make decisions is over. Now management makes analytic decisions that is backed or that are backed by data. So use predictive analytics to predict the future based on past data, historical data. And I've given one technique, that is regression. So use regression. You can also use forecasting, time series analysis to do all of this predictive analytics. Okay. Okay. Then the last one is prescriptive analytics. This one has to do with, so take note of this. So prescriptive analytics tells us a course of action to take. What should we do? Descriptive told us what has happened in the data, in the organization based on historical data. Predictive takes what has happened to tell us what is likely to happen. Remember, you can't predict the future, certainly. So, what is likely to happen? Predictive. Then, prescriptive takes what is likely to happen and tell management what to do. So, it indicates a course of action to take, recommendation of business actions. Okay. The output of a prescriptive model is what? Decision, business decision. Do A or do B, because they have simulated the recommendations that the data analyst has made. And then, based on all the recommendations, these are the specific course of actions management should do. Because if you do it like this way, you are going to have more yields, more returns. Okay. Okay. So you see this distinction. Predictive models provide a forecast, but they don't provide a decision. Okay. They don't provide a decision. This is very critical. So you could see that I've bolded it. So when you have forecast, what is likely to happen, predictive, then you combine it with a rule, how to go about it, then you are doing prescriptive analytics, or it has become prescriptive analytics. So I give a lengthy example here. Let me take my time to read through this a lengthy example for you. So we can develop a model to predict the probability that a person or a bank customer will default on a loan. Probability, either from 1 to 100, 1 to 100 or 0 to 1. Okay. If we create a rule that says that if the estimated probability of default is more than 0.6, we should not award a loan, Then you have built a predictive model. So the rule is that this rule becomes a condition. So when you calculate the probability of a customer prospective loan customer defaulting and you get the value at 0.6, which is predictive analytics, then you make a rule that based on this, if somebody gets this probability, you should not award the loan. Now, management has a rule to make a decision. So when a new customer is coming for a loan, they look at the model, pass all your data into the model, calculate the probability of you defaulting. Then when the probability is greater than 0.6, so let's say 0.7, hey, you are in the danger zone. Then they apply the business rule. Do not award. Bam. Do not award the loan. So that is descriptive analytics. I believe that um, we have very good understanding now with them. Okay. Now let's come to data analytics ecosystem. So data analytics is one of the fields in data science. And I say this that perhaps the most important field within data science, because without the data analyst, the business analyst person can do nothing. Okay. So within the data science ecosystem, what is data science? Simply put, the application of science or scientific methods to analyzing data. So remember, scientific process. When you say something is scientific, it means that it follows a set of principles, laid down rules, methodologies. And one key feature about something that is scientific is that it should be falsifiable or reprovable or repeatable to get the same result. So anybody that analyzes data follows a methodology, lay down rules to analyze the data, make recommendations. That person can be called a data scientist by practice because the person follows a methodology to do it. And then when it's done, another person can follow his process to get the same result. If the person doesn't get the same result or disprove it, the person is not data science. Okay, so within this data science ecosystem, in fact, today there's no world that data science has not permeated. There's no business arena, business area, or discipline that data science has not permeated. Every sector of the economy is being affected by data science. Okay, what are the rules? We have a person called data engineer, another business intelligence analyst, data analyst, business analyst, machine learning analyst, and the almighty data scientist. So I'll start with the data scientist. The data scientist does everything like I've explained. Everything all the above do. He does data engineering, he does business intelligence, data analysis, business analysis, machine learning. Okay. So let's now continue with the data engineering. Remember, we talked about data lakes and data warehouses. It is the data engineer that builds a data warehouse or data lakes. Okay, we've explained what they are. Data lakes or data warehouses consist of raw data with metadata from different sources, different data sources, from online, from physical shop, from phone, from email. So the person in the organization that brings all these data sets from the different databases and different platforms onto one place, one central repository to get an enterprise-wide data for the organization is called the data engineer. And he does this with Python programming. And when he brings the data, he cleans them and put them in the shape that is ready for analysis or ready to be extracted by the finance person, the HR person, the supply chains person. So he builds the data mats for the various departments. Okay. Then what is business intelligence? So business intelligence has to do with analyzing historical data. So if you look at this critically, business intelligence does descriptive analytics. So I've already explained descriptive analytics. So what the business intelligence analyst does is that he goes into the organizational historical data, tell us what has happened. So his work is to tell us what has happened by designing dashboards and reports and then make business recommendations. He make business recommendations. Okay. Then we come to the data analyst. The data analyst does the work of the business intelligence, but a step further. What he does in addition to descriptive analytics is that he does prescriptive analytics. He used past data to predict future events, future outcomes. Okay, so the data analyst does, thank God I've explained descriptive and predictive. So he does descriptive and predictive analytics, and sometimes he does prescriptive. In our training, we'll be focusing more on descriptive and predictive analytics. Then the business analytics or business analyst does all three types of analytics. He does descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. But most often, because remember, business, just like the business intelligence person is doing more about business and business recommendation. The business analyst is more focused on prescriptive analytics. Prescriptive analytics. So he takes the work that the data analyst has brought, and because of his business acumen, okay, and his strategy simulation acumen or skill sets, he's able to take the recommendations that the data analyst has made from the analyzed data, the insight, and get a rule, okay, propose a rule, a model out of it so that business actions can be taken. Great. Then the machine learning analyst or expert designs machine learning algorithms, which is mostly for predictive analytics. Most of the machine learning algorithms, like in the banking sector, we want to find out, yes, the a bank, a person coming for a loan, whether the person will default or not default, whether a customer will churn or not churn. So churning means stop patronizing the services of the organization. So he designs some logistic regression model to find out, okay, based on these characteristics, um, this kind of customer with this profile is likely to stop using our services when he behaves like this, makes such complaints. Then sometimes you are there, you realize that, oh, the relationship manager of your bank will call you, and yes, they have put some systems in place. Chances are that you have made a complaint. It's been 1 month, you have not done a transaction with them. They realize that that is not you, or they are monitoring you. They have seen that you have said somewhere about a new bank or new product. You are likely to switch. So bam, they call you, oh, Mr. So and so Donald. Okay, how are you? This is the relationship manager. We want to no, they have done something. They have seen, they have they have seen that you are likely to change, you are likely to do something. They do that. Okay, so um that is machine learning. If you enroll on data science, it will teach you all of that. Okay, all right, so I did this one to help you appreciate the differences and the delineations proper. So on the left hand side are business activities, okay, to integrate data from different sources, build data pipelines that integrates the data, process and transform, store the data. All of these are being done by the data engineer. Okay, so all of these are done by the data engineer. Then the building of dashboards or reports, doing exploratory analytics. So exploring patterns, what is there? Okay, is so from here to here is business intelligence. Okay, dashboards, reports, and investigating what happened there, exploring. Okay, then business analytics, which has um, data analytics in it. Okay, that's the BI, and then statistical modeling, machine learning, business recommendations, and business action. Okay, business actions, all of this. Then the data science there is the boss. He does everything. He does everything. Okay. So I'll skip these ones as I've explained them already. Okay, so what does the data analyst do? Or what is the process of data analysis? So data analysis is oh, okay. Okay, so it starts with getting data. Okay, getting data. This one is the last but one. I think okay, starts by getting data, and then the second is cleansing the data or wrangling the data. Okay, then the third is transforming the data, the fourth is modeling the data, and then the fifth is analyzing the data. Then the last stage is making or inform or using the data to inform decision making, that is making recommendation. So data analytics is the process of getting data from the organizational database, okay, cleaning the data. Why do you clean the data? Remember I said data is the new oil. So you extract, you clean it, you commodify. So you cleanse it, transform it, put it in a shape that you can use to get insight or analyze it. Okay. Then when you get your insight, you make recommendations to management. Okay, yes, I think I did the right thing here. So these are the full steps in that order. Great, great, great. Make recommendations. Okay. So what are business drivers for data analytics? When you want to optimize business operations, you want to optimize your pricing, your sales, profits, and all of that. And it's important that you analyze your data so you can get the best price and be efficient. When you want to find out the churn rates, which customers are likely to churn, which customers' activity are fraudulent, which customer will default in a loan. These are all risks, variabilities in outcomes of business activities. Then you want to predict new business opportunities. You watch Netflix movie, and then the next minute when you go back, it says that because you watch this, they are recommending. So upselling and cross-selling. You go to Amazon, you view something or purchase something, and then say that they recommended products. Others who watch this. Facebook, you give them your data. You attended so and so kindergarten, so and so GHS, so and so SHS, so and so university, and then based on your comments somebody also create a platform and give two of your the friends on your profile. Then they say that, oh, they recommend their friends to you. Okay, recommend their friends. All of these are drivers for data analytics. In fact, Facebook goes a step further to segment our data and then allow businesses to target us for marketing. Okay, and then when you want to comply with laws, you need to have data analytics. I think I explained the structured data and unstructured data. I'll skip those ones as well and come to the last one. Okay. So we've talked about data. Okay. So data is actually the result of measurements. It can be numerical or categorical. Okay, categorical. So variables are placeholders for data. And when you say a variable, you say a placeholder. So, like, let's say you have some data in Excel sheet. You have first name. So that first name that is going to store, let's say, Benadoche, Mariana Sean, Ababimbo, Anthony Corsa, Jude Maxwell, Dan Donald. The heading called first name is the variable. And we are saying that there are two types of variables. A variable can either be numerical or categorical. So numerical means the variable will contain numbers. So when you have a column with a name, and that name is a variable, the column name as height, weight, temperature, age, then we expect that the values that you are going to enter in that column for that variable is numeric numbers. Okay, then we also have categorical variable. Categorical means that
it will accept two or more categories. Two or more. So category, like gender. So if I put gender at the top as a column heading, it means that the the values for that column are expected to be male or female. Ghana, we're soon going to pass the bill against. Okay, in Ghana we only have male and female. We don't have the transgender people. Okay, or nationality, religion. Religion is categorical. Okay, categorical. Another example of categorical data is location. So think about numerical as any variable that stores or holds numbers, then categorical as any variable or column that will store text-based data, qualitative data. Numerical is quantitative data. Any data you can quantify is numerical data type. Any data that is qualitative or text based is categorical. So when I ask you your name, okay, though it is not categories, you give me one like Donald Okai, it is text based. So that text based, because text based becomes categorical. Now in Excel and Power BI, date is seen as a categorical data type, but behind the scene, date is a serial or is in numbers. Okay, when we get to the practical aspect, you get to see, appreciate how date can both be categorical and then numbers at the same time. Okay, Okay, now the reason why you must understand data types and categorization is that, remember, you're a data analyst. You use statistics to model organizational data to predict the future. So you must understand the various forms data can take. Then the type of data you have determine the type of model or analysis you can perform. The type of data you have determines the type of analysis you can perform, the type of visualizations you can perform, the type of graphs you can use to visualize the shape of your data or the distribution. So remember, data is broadly categorized into numerical or categorical. Then under numerical, you have interval and ratio. Then categorical, ordinal, and nominal. So I think I have a table here with examples. Okay, with examples. So nominal is qualitative, as you can see at the top. So nominal here, categorical is qualitative, numeric is quantitative. So these values represent labels that are distinguished from one another. So nationality, remember I said that one. The country, employee ID, true or false, all of these are nominal. Then the kind of operations you can perform on, you can compare, is this one equal to this or not equal to. Then ordinal, the attributes imply a sequence. So take ordinal data type as order, order, order. Like in academic settings, you have grade A, B, C, D, E, and F. F means you have failed. So when somebody gets a grade A, though it is text based, okay, though it is categorical, you can make meaning and you can make meaning out of it that someone who gets A is higher than the person who gets B. Okay, and then C like that. So anything like good, better, best is an ordinal data type. Agree, usually in questionnaire development, you have a um, five scale, 5 point Likert scale, and then we see that one means strongly disagree, two means disagree, three means neutral. So you see, we are graduating. Then 4 means agree, 5 means strongly agree. So levels. Any data that has levels and each level has a higher order or sequence of meaning, that is an ordinal data. Fantastic. Then the next category, interval. So when you can find the differences between two. So temperature in Celsius or calendar. So let me use the simplest one. Calendar dates. I can find the number of minutes between 8 a.m. 17 February and 12 noon 17 February. That is interval. Okay. Then ratio is these two are very, when we start statistics, we'll dive deep into the difference between interval and ratio. So ratio means that both the difference and the ratio of two values are meaningful. So both the difference both the difference and the ratio of the two values um, are meaningful. Okay. So age, for instance, weight, for instance. So the difference between your age and my age and the ratio 1:3, the difference and the values are both meaningful. Okay, fantastic. I think that's the end. Please, any questions? Any questions? We have 2 hours to go, so I have to give you about 10 minutes break, and then we'll come to the practicals. Yes, please. Any questions? Any questions? Great. In the absence of no questions, it's 9:48. You have 10 minutes break. So by 9:58, you should be back here with your Excel opened, and then you have 2 hours of playing with Excel for the day. Thank you very much. Get some pizza and blue skies and enjoy in the next 10 minutes. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. Welcome back from our break. So it's assumed that you have launched your Excel as I have done mine. So we can start. My emphasis is to teach you Excel for data analytics, but there are some basics that if you don't know there, you worry us. So great. So this is the Excel interface. Mine is Excel 2019. Okay, so I believe that by what I said, everybody has either 365 or 2019. So with this Excel interface, you get to see that there's a green, some might be gray or black. I assume that everybody has the default one. So this green or black section, depending on which interface design you have chosen, it's called the ribbon. So if you look at my mouse from the top to this section where there's a gray line, horizontal line, it's the ribbon. Okay, this is the ribbon. Then on the ribbon, you see that there are individual tabs, okay, or words. The words are called tabs. Okay, so it starts with the file tab, the home tab, the insert tab. Depending on what you have, if it's 365, you have draw as well. 2019, you have draw. If you have page layout, formulas, data, each of these are tabs on the ribbon. In fact, the full name is, let's say this one, page layout ribbon, or formulas ribbon, data ribbon, but that's too long. So as data analyst, we say, oh, go to the data tab, click on the home tab, click on the insert tab. So if I say click on the insert tab, what it means is that go to the ribbon, look for the word insert on the ribbon and click on it. Okay. Now, when you click on the home tab, you get series of commands, and these commands are delineated by vertical lines. In other words, they are grouped. So you could see that here there's a word here called clipboard, and there's a right borderline here telling us that these commands here are the clipboard commands. When I click on the arrow to the bottom right, it opens up the clipboard, but we don't want the clipboard to take my space. So all the command groups, or most of the command groups, you see this one. This means you can expand it to show the entire command group. So what does the clipboard command group does? This is where you have the paste, the copy, the cut, and then the format painter, the brush too. Very, very useful tools here. In fact, Control V, Control C is a mantra of Windows PC. You can't do anything on a computer if we don't do Control C, Control V. So a clipboard is a temporary storage area that stores your most current activities if you have not closed the application. So if I'm typing something, if I type something and copy it, if I delete something, if I color something, all of these activities that I'm doing are being stored on a clipboard, a temporary storage area in the memory of the machine. Okay. So anytime I want to redo what I did or undo what I did, then I get access to the clipboard. So undoing and redoing are possible because of the clipboard. Okay. Then we have the fonts command group. So it's called a command group because there are many commands that have been categorized. Okay. So on the font command group, when you place a mouse pointer on any icon, it gives you the name and what it does. This is called string tip. So when I place the mouse pointer on the letter B in the font command group, it tells me bold, bold, and the keyboard shortcut is Control B. So if I type my name here and press enter and move it back into it and do Control B, it means that the word Bernard in that place will be boldened. Will be boldened. Okay. Machine, what's up? Okay. Then you have italicize, underline, the borders or borders, then the formats, the fill color, font color, and all of that. So font is actually a typeface, okay, a typeface, and there are different typefaces. So remember, I'm not saying fonts because I'm a technical person. I understand typography. So there's a difference between typeface or font family and font. So you take Arial, the one maybe, or Times New Roman. So Times New Roman is actually a typeface. Is a typeface. When you take Times New Roman and you apply bold or italicize or underline or change the size from 12 to 9 or 25, then it becomes what? A font. Okay. So Times New Roman, Arial, Calibri, Centric, Gothic, all of these are typefaces. A particular aspect of it, like Times New Roman, bold or italicized, is a font. Okay, it's a font. So all the fonts to manipulate fonts, the size for the capital letter, the big A, small a reduces it are here. So please, now you don't watch me. When I do, you do some. If I type something, I'm clicking. You type something there and you also click so. Okay. Though I'm introducing you to the interface. Right. Place the mouse pointer on them and look at them. Okay. Now identify um, two commands under the cells command group. So now you have the opportunity to talk. So look for the cells command group, and tell me two commands that are there. Cells command group, format and delete. Fantastic. Okay. So format, delete. Okay. Then I want two command groups under the editing, two commands under the editing command group. Editing. Yes, anybody can answer. Anybody can answer. David Brown, Claire, and Otto Sam. Okay. So Otto Sam. Okay. Claire, Phil. Great. Then I want commands different under the number command group. What commands are under the number command group? So mention them fast. Number command group. Then let's move to the insert tab and give me three commands under the charts command group. Three commands under the chart command group. Fantastic. That's okay. So now you get to see that each of the tab, when you click, they are command groups. Okay, so anytime we are doing something, I'll mention the name of the ribbon or the tab, and the command group. So always pay attention. Okay, always pay attention, and you know which command I'm talking about when you place the mouse pointer on them. Great. Then at the top of the ribbon, okay, the left side, you have what we call the quick access toolbar. So this is where I am. This section from left to right is called the quick access toolbar. It's there to help you get access to quick things that you do. Let's say you redo, you undo, you sort, descend, almost every task, any now and then when you open Excel, you do most of these activities. Then you put them there. So you've been emailing your Excel sheet, then you bring email. You've been printing your Excel sheet, then you bring print. So you don't have to go through page layout and print area and or go through all of these processes to print. So the quick access toolbar is there to help you have quick access to some commands you do frequently. Okay, that's on the left hand side. Then in the middle of the ribbon, that section is called the title. Okay, so we usually call it the title bar. It bears the title, the name of the document, and the title of the application you have opened. So mine says book one space hyphen Excel. So Excel is the name of the application I have opened. Then book one is the name of the document I have opened. Excel works with books just like Word works with pages, and PowerPoint works with slides. So Excel work with books or workbook. Okay, workbook. So this document is called a workbook. And just like your notebook, a workbook is a notebook with many pages or two or more pages. So when you open your notebook, teacher's notebook, student notebook, church notebook, you will see that there are many leaflets in them. The leaflets in Excel is called a worksheet, a sheet of paper in a book. That's a worksheet. Okay, great. So if we save this file, then book one will change to the name that we have assigned to this workbook. Okay. Then to the right side, immediate right, we have the user account. So I am me, and my mail that I use to sign up for my Microsoft account is there, and my name is there. If you have not registered your products, your name is likely not to be there. Or if you are using someone's laptop, that person's name will be there. So that's the user profile. Then to the right of it, this one will vary if you are using 365. The ribbon display option. If you are using 365, you don't have ribbon display option up here. So you use this one to hide or minimize the ribbon. Okay, for teaching purposes, I will not be hiding it. Then of course the minimize. I won't waste time here because you already um, know them, minimize, and the restore. Okay, now on the ribbon we have the file tab. The file tab, when you click on it, it takes you to what we call the backstage view. So let's click on the file tab to take us to the backstage view. Okay, we are going to the backstage, behind the scene, the backstage. Now, what do you do here? Many useful things: passwording, sharing, publishing, and all of that. Okay, so let's look at some of the two commonest things that you'll be doing here. One, two, three. As for info, okay, so you click on info, passwording, managing, and all of that. So it gives you details about the document. The save and the save as you are familiar with will come to them. Okay. Home, new, open, save, save as. Okay. If you want to print, you come here, and it's useful if you use the quick access toolbar. That's one click. If you come here, you are going to do two clicks, and you must learn how to be efficient and effective when you are using any tool. Then the share is when you are done, you want to share your work with your colleagues, you want to share with people. So you can actually use Excel to send a mail, send a workbook to somebody. You don't need to go and say find attach. You can do it right here in Excel. And most importantly, today, most organizations have subscribed to 365, and all of you have your email addresses. OneDrive for business, SharePoint, and all of that. So it becomes so easy to collaborate on Excel files. Okay, then export, publish, and then um, publish to Power BI. When we get to Power BI, we do all of this. But let's go to accounts, then get to know which version of Office you are using. So when you click on account on the backstage view, you get your user account detail, your corporate email or your 365 email. And then on the right hand side here, mine is you see products activated Microsoft Office Professional Plus 2019 and the various individual products I am using for this package. So Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Microsoft. This one is Publisher, and then Outlook, and then I think I have PowerPoint and Project Access, Skype, and all of that. So this is where you check the Office version you are using. Then I don't want to sign out. So if you want to sign out, to use this place to manage accounts and privacies. Then Office background, you realize that mine here is some diamonds. So this is where you use to change it. By default, is Circuit. So I've changed mine from Circuit to uh, Doodle Diamonds. Doodle Diamond. So, and then the office team, sometimes you go to somebody's machine and the interface is on black B. Hey, that's a black no on office ne. How come it's black like that? So that's the office theme. So if I choose black here, it will no longer be this colorful green. It will turn to black. Or if I choose the gray, the whole interface, not only Excel. Remember, it's Office team, not only Excel, my PowerPoint and my Word, all my the different software application will have that theme, black. For the purposes of teaching, I will not be using the black. I'll just maintain my green one so that students don't get confused that say yours is different from ours. So you have seen the black, right? This is the black. Okay, so this is the black theme for you. It's black like a black man. Yes, very black. Uh, Ideally, some programmers prefer black interface. Then you get to see that beneath the ribbon, so get out of the backstage and come back to Excel. Beneath the ribbon, there's this horizontal bar here from left to right. The first section of the horizontal bar is called the name box, and it's called name box because it tells you the name of the active cell. So each of these, oh no, we'll do this one later. So each of these boxes, okay, is a cell, and each cell in this grid, in this box or on this sheet, has a name or an address. The address of this cell is called the cell reference. So when you say what is your reference or what is the cell reference, it means that where does this cell live on this worksheet, the location of the cell. And usually or mostly or all the time, you get the cell reference of the active cell in the name box. So currently, I've clicked on the first cell in my worksheet, and the name of that cell is what? A1, and I get to see that name in the name box. Okay, I hope you are doing same. I get to see it in the name box. If I go and click on the first cell under the E column, I get to see that the name of that cell is E1, cell reference. How does Excel compute the cell reference or the name of the cell? It picks the column letter. So these A, B, C, D, E, F up to X, F, D are called, in fact, the correct technical name are called column headings. Column heading. And this 1, 2, 3 on the vertical side are called row headings. But because we are data analysts, we would have we have another name mostly on our sheet called column headings. If we use the same name, it will conflict. Okay, so when I say column heading, you might be confused. Which one is it, the A, B, C, D, or maybe this one? So usually, um, let me do it like this. So name here, in terms of data analytics, this name here is our column heading or attribute. Okay, name, age, height. These are column headings. Okay, so let's say me, I'm 31 and my height is 6 feet. Mhm. So A, name, age, and height are my column headings or my attributes. Then Bernard, let me see, Donald, Marian, Jude, Ernest. Please forgive me, not your age. So you want me to add your own. Okay. And then like this. Okay. So each row here, okay. So Bernard um, is a row or an observation or a record. So get them. This is a row, this is a column. The A, the B, the C are columns. The left to right are rows. So that's how come these are called row headings. Okay. And I said that we will not use the row headings and the column headings, but we'll use row numbers and column letters. So if I want to refer to donut observation, what I'll tell you is that click on row 3. That will be donut. Or I will say click on the donut row heading or donut row. Okay. Donut row. Great. So A, B, C, D are the column letters, and then 1, 2, 3 are the row numbers. Row numbers. Great. So Excel picks the column letter of that cell, writes it down, and appends the row number to the right. So where name is in the A column and the first one on row 1. So write A and then looks for the row number, which is 1, and say this cell is called A1. This is very important when you want to do calculations, as Excel is a spreadsheet application for performing calculations, simulations, and modeling of business data, so that we can know where each data is coming from, and then so that our formulas will be dynamic and not static. So when the values change, the result too will change. This is one of the key fundamentals of Excel, cell referencing. I hope everybody understands this now so I can make progress. So if you understand, give me some thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Let me know you are cool. Okay, great, 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 great. So that I know you are not sleeping or watching Kumkumbaya. Great. All right. Now to the right of the name box is the almighty formula bar. Okay. Almighty formula bar. So what the formula bar does is that if you have not typed name in A1, type name. Just type name there. Then click on it. When you click on it, you see that what is in A1, the same content in A1 is also in the formula bar. So what the formula bar does is that it's used to enter formulas in addition to entering content and editing content in a cell. So if I want to change this from name to first name, I have two options. I can I can double click here, okay? Can double click on cell A1, okay? And when I double click, it allows me to change the name, or I can click on cell A1 and go to the um, the formula bar and change the content. So I'll double click here and then I'll type first name and it's done. I press the enter key when I'm done. I double click. Okay, now let me not double click. I'll click and go to the formula bar, highlight first name, delete it, press enter. So you get to see it. I can also click on it, go to the formula bar, click inside and type first name, hit enter, and it goes into that place. Now, if I don't double click and just click and I begin typing, then I am overwriting the content of that cell. So it's important. Know what you want to do. If you want to edit, you double click or click and go to the formula bar. Going to the formula bar is 2 steps. That is not most efficient. So double clicking is most efficient. Pa. Then you are in and you do your changes. Please, is that clear? Great, great. So that's the formula bar. We'll be using it, but most often, if you know the formulas, you don't need to go to the formula bar. Hardly do I go to the formula bar myself. I just have to know what you have to do and you enter them directly. But if you see the FX and you click on the FX, it gives you all the formulas. Terms of category most recently used, product, sum, month, PMT, average, if many of them, and the categories are here. Financial, and that tells you range of possibilities of using Excel. I mean, there is no industry, no office, no management level that does not use Excel. Excel is the most commonest single powerful software in the world. Okay, every managerial level uses Excel. It's just of late that some of the senior managers have started learning Power BI, so at least they can also use Power BI. Okay, great, great, great. Now we come to the the right side. Okay, the right side of our interface or Excel window. You see this bar here is the vertical scroll bar. So use it to scroll up or down. So the up arrow here and the down arrow here, when I click on it, I'll be scrolling out of screen or scrolling down, 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 down. Then I can drag this one up to get to all that the data is. And there's a horizontal scroll bar too. Now I have SC, so I can scroll like this. By default, takes me to M. Then I can use the right scroll bar or button and keep scrolling. This is inefficient way of scrolling. I want to get to the last column of Excel. If I use this one, it will take me like 35 years to get there. So whilst you are here, let's learn some quick Excel navigation tool on this window. Okay, so click in cell. If you have typed anything, kindly delete it. So you can select, click and drag from wherever you have typed, drag down and press the delete key. If you have typed anything, kindly delete. And then please, if I mention any keyboard name and you don't know where that keyboard is, kindly let me know. Okay. Now press Control and the right arrow key. Control and the right arrow key and tell me what it does. Control and the right arrow key. What does it do? Okay, it sends it to the last cell. Okay, any other answer? Any other answer? Hey, please talk. Oh, talk, 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 tick tock, tick tock. Yes, Mariam, you want to talk? You want to give an answer? Oh, wow, that's awesome. What did you do? Did you do control right arrow? So control arrow, right arrow. The please, which laptop are you using? Okay, does it have numbers on the right hand side? Okay, so look at your space bar. To the right of the space bar, there is a control key. After the control key, you see some four keys, one with an arrow up, arrow down, arrow left, arrow right, or some greater than, left than, up down. Have you seen it? Yes. So now it's working. Is it working for you now? Fantastic. Okay. So what control right arrow does when you don't have any data in your worksheet or on your worksheet is that it takes you to the last column in Excel. Now, one worksheet, Excel worksheet, at least I think from 2016 upwards, has 16,384 columns. Now, remember there are 26 characters or letters in the alphabet, 26 characters. That makes the alphabet table. These 26 characters have been permed or combined in several combinations to give us 16,384 unique columns. By implication, means that if you are using an Excel sheet, one sheet, to store data, you can store up to 16,384 columns. That is huge. And in this world, there's no data set that's wide. No, at least 25 columns or attributes, 20 or so. So this is to tell you that Excel is great at databases as well. Okay, now press Control Home. The home key is HOME. If you have a numeric keypad, it will be at the top of your numeric keypad or numeric lock, usually on the right hand side. So look for HOME on your keyboard on the right hand side. Control Home and tell me what it does. Fantastic. So it takes you to cell A1, which is the home of your worksheet. Home is home. Home by default is where, when you open Excel application window, the active cell A1. Okay. Now, whilst you are in A1, press Control down arrow. Let me see if I'm home. Okay. Am I home? Control down arrow and tell me where it takes you. Control down arrow. Where does it take you? Yes, please mention your data analyst from today. So mention that number. No, 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 no. That's not how data analysts talk. It's not 104. Yes. Uh-huh. No, I disagree. Yes, we will get it right. For pizza from Mama Mia. Oh, David, I think you mixed one. You mixed. Okay, so who is talking? Okay. So 1,048,576. Great. So one Excel sheet. So by implication, this means that if you are using Excel sheet to store data, it can store up to 1,048,575 observations or records or details about customers, employees, or activities. So my question is, why am I saying that you would be able to store up to 1,048,575 observations or records about an entity, customers, employees, and not 1,048,576? Yes, who understands the question and who can answer? One of the skill sets, soft skills a data analyst you have is critical mindset, critical thinking. So this question involves critical thinking. Yes, please. Who is ready for David? You want pizza? Okay, so I'm repeating the question. I'm saying that by implication, one Excel sheet can be used to store data up to 1,048,575. Why am I saying up to 1,048,575 instead of 1,048,576? Fantastic. So you have pizza. You have my pizza. I'll buy it for you. So that's the answer. So today my pizza, I only have one pizza and it's been exhausted. If I promise anybody anybody again pizza, I'll be lying. So okay. So usually in any database system, we delineate or designate the first row for headings. And even sometimes you give some descriptions and company details and all of that. So about 3 or 4 rows might go. But we are giving some best case scenario where you only make use of one row for the column heading. So it is -1. A classical case, a case happened during the COVID-19 where one of the US states used Excel to report on their plateauing or statistics levels for COVID-19, the death rates and the recovery and all of that. And then the analysts use Excel for the dashboard, but the person failed to appreciate the constraints Excel worksheet has. So he loaded the data from the database onto Excel, and that data, imagine US, that data was more than 1,048,576. So any observation or records that was beyond that was truncated, and he sent this one to that man, that doctor, I've forgotten his name, the doctor that was in charge. Yeah. And later they realized that that was not the true reflection of the statistics in terms of death recovery and all of that. Excel crashed, the Excel truncated the other data set. So please, from today, be reminded that if you have any data set sent to you in a CSV file from a database system, you want to use Excel to analyze it, to visualize it, to create a report and a dashboard, know that if the data set is above 1,048,500 and something, know how to circumvent this limitation, which I'll be teaching you using Power Query. And this same Power Query is in Power BI. So when you master Power Query in Excel, when you get to Power BI, no wahala, because you already know how to use it. Anybody that understands all the different parts in Excel is already a Power BI user. Okay, so we use Power Query to circumvent this constraint of Excel, so you can query large data, aggregate the data before you bring it to Excel for visualization, which I'll be teaching you. Okay, full practical course using Excel. Okay, so do control right arrow and tell me where it takes you. In fact, tell me the name of the cell. Control right arrow. Where does it take you? Control right arrow. Fantastic. Fantastic. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. So if you want to get to the last cell, that's what you do. Okay. So control up, control left. Now, if you are here, you do control home. It takes you to cell A1. Okay. Now, this control right, down, left that we are doing will be very useful later in the day or later in the weeks. You can use this same thing to do selection. Okay. When you combine the shift key, it will select. Okay. When you combine the shift key with it, it selects data. And please don't forget this. It will be very efficient for you to know this and then use them. Control arrow for navigation, then control shift right, left, down. That's selection. That's selection for you. Okay. Now make sure you are in cell A A1, cell A1, and then look at the bottom of your window where you have sheet 1. Okay, this side. So this section is called the sheet bar or the sheet tab. Okay, the sheet bar here, the sheet bar. On the right hand side, you get the scroll bar or you have the scroll bar. So when you have different sheets, all those sheets will be here. So all of this is the sheet bar. Okay, and this is the sheet tab. So usually I will say that yes, NS please a minute. And so usually I'll say click on maybe activity one sheet tab. So you have to come to the sheet bar to click on the sheet tab here. Yes, Honorable Itimensa. Yes, Brother Ernest, your hand was up, or your hand is still up. Okay, so the sheet tab has all the sheets in the workbook. Okay, so currently we have sheet one. I think from 2016, 2016 or 2019. So I think either from 2016 or 2019 version. The default number of sheets is one, but previous ones 2010, 2013, you have three sheets as your default sheet. So the default sheet is sheet one. um, if you click on the plus icon here, so you can click on plus icon here, then the next one will increase by one. That will be sheet two. Okay, so this is how come this whole bar is called the sheet tab. The more sheet you have, um, the more they occupy the space, and you have to use the scroll bars, the scroll left, scroll right on the sheet tab. Okay, so we have not saved our work yet. Let's do last two things here. Then we'll save our work and we'll start renaming the sheets and all of that. Okay, now whilst you are on sheet one, in cell A1, check the bottom part of the sheet tab. Okay, it's called the status bar. On the right hand side, you see the zoom level. Mine is currently set to 100% with the zoom slider, where I can slide to my left or slide to my right, or use a plus or minus to set my zoom level. Then I have my views. A view is an environment where you look at your data or your worksheet. So in Word, you have normal view and print view, web view, reading view. So in Microsoft Word, when you are done typing, you can decide to say that I want to go to the reading view. Then all the ribbon items will go and you focus on reading. The same thing here, or just like PowerPoint, slideshow view. Okay, so here too you have different views. So normal view is the default one. Then we have page layout view. Okay, so you can click on them, page layout view, where it lays out the page like you want to print. Okay, when you are in normal view, you click on normal view and move to your left hand side. On the left hand side, observe the status bar whilst the active cell is cell A1. What does the status bar read? The left side, what does it read? The leftmost part of the status bar. Observe it. What word is there? Ready. Okay. Now, observe that section whilst you double click. Double click cell A1 and check what the ready turns into. The ready turns into what? Enter. Anytime you click on a cell, then the status bar tells you the state of the cell. It is ready. It means that it's ready to accept something. It's ready to accept data into it. Okay, it's ready to accept data. So that's the one of the uses of the status bar. It tells you the state of the cell, and when we begin typing it also helps out with some of the descriptive or summary statistics, maximum, minimum, average, and all of that. Okay, now type your name, your first name, just one name, in cell A1. When you are done, double click and tell me the state of the word now, where the ready was and became enter. What does it show now? So it means that when you have entered data into a cell and you double click, it means that you are editing. Okay, that is, and of course, that's what we want to do. You want to maybe say you want to type your full name, but I'm not sure of that. So the status bar is very useful for all of this. It's telling you the state of that cell is in edit mode, which means you don't want to delete. But if you click on this, this is ready. And this ready means that when I begin typing anything, ba 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 ba, it deletes it. It's not editing. It clears it and puts the new content there. Okay, fantastic. So now let's do housekeeping and start making our hands dirty. Enough of this scrolling up and down and down and down and down. Now let's start it proper. Okay, delete the house that you have entered. And one of the skill sets a data analyst should have is being organized. You must be an organized person to be a data analyst. If for other things or other areas of your life you are not organized, please, from today, you have to be able to, whatever you are doing, organize them. From A, you move to B, from B, C, like that, like that, like that, like that. Okay. So anytime you have a data analytics project in the office, they want you to analyze some data, or every month, every week, you analyze data. The right thing to do is to get a major folder for the organization. So let's say, for instance, ISM Analytics, we consult for about 5 companies. Every month, we analyze their data and we design dashboards for them. So I will have a major folder called consulting. Then in that consulting folder, I'll have one for EcoBank, one for Certified Ghana, one for IS Advertising, one for IS Real Estate, one for IS Oil and Gas, and then IS Savings and Loan, IS University. In each of these folders, then the data and the project I'm working on will be in there. So at any point in time, I can go to a particular folder and work, knowing that when I get there, I'll find all the details or the files or the solutions for that client, for that project. This is very important. You don't dump everything on your desktop. Basa basa basa. This one is here, one is lying down somewhere. So let's do that. Let's do that. So go to the desktop, on your desktop, preferably. Right click. We are creating a new folder. Okay, so right click, new. Okay, new, and then folder, new folder, and call it data analytics. Um, Maybe you can call it training. Me, I'll call it lab session. You are the weekend. The lady is weekday, so her folder is the one there. Weekend cohorts. For me, I have to add other things because I have different cohorts. I have to be able to differentiate between this and that. Okay, please, when you are done, let me know by showing the thumbs up. Now, double click the main folder. In other words, open it. Okay, so if you have double clicked and it has opened, create a folder in this data analytics lab session folder. Create another folder here and call it data. Okay, data. Um, no, okay, let's even call this one. This is Excel. Okay, so Excel. So you have one for Excel, one for SQL, one for Power BI. So when you start SQL and Power BI, you create another one here. Then go inside Excel and create another folder. If you are using Windows, the keyboard shortcut is Control Shift N. That will create a new folder for you and call this one data. So the file path is Data Analytics Lab Excel data. Now, inside the data folder, any file I'll give you for a project, for assignments, for lab sections in class, you put them in the data folder. Then your main files, like the Excel workbook we'll be working on, will be saved outside this directory. So the one we are about to save, we'll save it outside this directory. All right. So whilst we are here, let's copy the file path. If it sounds too technical to you, this is it. In this window, there's an address bar for the window. this top box. When you click inside that box, you get the path for this folder. So click inside for it to be highlighted like that, and then Control C to copy. Great. Now let's go to Excel and save our workbook. So this is going to be no problem. If you are not able to copy the part, let's do it another way. But after today, check your machines. You should be using your machine to know how to get the path of your folder. So if you're able to copy the path, that's fine. If you are not, no problem. We use different ways, but it's important to work through. So either use the right click or find another way to get the path there. So go to File, Save As. Okay, so please File, Save As. Please, from here, don't be left behind. So File, Save As. At the backstage, Save As. Then click on Browse. Now, this is where you select where you want to save it. So I have copied the path. So knowing the path, I just come to this path box or directory box. Okay. Then do click and do Control V and press the enter key. This is why I wanted everybody to be able to copy the path. Click there, paste it, and it directly takes me to where I have to save it. Let me see whose one is working. If this approach doesn't work, you have to manually go to the desktop and see the folders and select. So it's working for David. So two ways. You either paste the path or you click on desktop, then you scroll to look for your folder. So desktop on the left hand side. Okay, David, that's fine. We just have one now more. So you click on the desktop, you scroll, and then you look for uh, data analytics. Okay, and then Excel. Okay, so within Excel, remember this is not data, this is an activity. So you save the files week 1. Okay, week 1 lab sessions. Okay, week 1 lab. I will add weekend cohorts to it. So I will add weekend, but you save it as week 1 lab. Okay, so that you differentiate between what we do in class and the assignment that I will give you. Ensure that the save as type is .xlsx. Okay, this is an Excel workbook. This is an Excel workbook. Now you can click on the chevron. This arrow is called chevron and it's pointing down. So you hear me say click on the down pointing chevron arrow or chevron icon. So when you click on the down pointing chevron, you get to see the different file types you can save an Excel file with. So I can see .pdf. It means I can save an Excel file as a PDF file, and that is very important. I can also save it as a macro enabled template. I can save it as an Excel template, web page, XML, CSV. Very, very important file format for exchanging data across different applications. CSV file format is the most universal file format for all databases, business intelligence, data analytics, and data science applications. There is no database in this world, data application software in this world that does not process CSV file. So if you want to send a file to somebody and you are not sure the software the person will use to analyze the data, the advisable file format is what? The CSV file. Okay. And CSV files, saves files in raw format, unformatted. Okay, so data is exchanging data. So if you do some calculations and color and some graphs and you save the thing, you lose it. You see, you open it again and it's not there. Why? Because it's a CSV file. Okay, so we are doing .xlsx. Excel workbook. Excel workbook. Then click on save. Yes, Kosa. Click on save. The next thing to prepare our workbook and our worksheet is we have to give appropriate names. Remember, we are going step by step, being organized, being organized, doing housekeeping. It will not be organized on your point to have sheet one, sheet two in your workbook. Each sheet should have a meaningful name, and by meaningful name, I mean the name of the sheet should correspond to what the sheet is doing, the kind of data or analysis the sheet is going to perform. So we are going to start with, so call this one sheet one, sorry, double click, sorry, to rename a sheet, there are two options. You double click on the sheet name, it gets highlighted like this, then you can rename it. Or you right click on the sheet name and click on rename. Right click is 2 steps, that is inefficient. Double click is 1 step, more efficient. So double click on sheet 1 and begin typing week, I say week 1, activity 1, activity 1. I think we'll be doing formatting in general. So call it formatting. Activity 1, formatting. So we are coming to enter data here, and then we'll format the data and we get to see that. All right. Please, when you are done, give me some up. Let me know you are okay. Grade 4, 5. Okay, so we can make progress. All right. Now we want to enter some data here and then work with it. First of all, let's enter months in cell A1 and then sales in cell B1. Okay. So enter month and sales like this. When you are done, let me know. Months and sales. If my screen is small, okay, let me think this is better. Month and sales. Okay. Now enter January or January, depending on the school you attended. In cell A2, enter January in cell A2. Okay, I believe by now everybody has entered January. Now click on January. Make sure you have clicked on it. When you click on January, you get to see that there is the bottom right corner. There is some breakages, a break there with some small square. Now, when you place the mouse pointer on that square, the mouse pointer turns into this thin hair or hairy plus. This thin hair or hairy plus mouse pointer is what is called the autofill. So Excel has intelligence built in it to know that January is the month or a month in a year. And when you type January, the month that follows is February. So by this intelligence in Excel, you can use autofill to click and drag. So as I'm dragging, I get to see that on the 8th row, I'm hitting July because it is 8 minus 1. Then I go to the 13th, I get up to December. If I go again to the 14th, it will restart at January. Okay, so get up to the 13th row and release your hand. Then you should get the months of the year from January to December. Okay. When you are done, emoji me. So I get to see that it working. Great, great, great. Honorable E.T. Mensah, please, is it working for you? Fantastic. Then we come to sales. Okay. So I'm taking my time to walk you through these fundamentals so that everybody gets up to speed or space with us. And next week, it will be giddy, 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 giddy. Okay. So let's work with some arbitrary figures. So let's see. Yes, yes, Mariam. Okay, no problem. No problem. So let me address that. So if you have a scenario like she described, now between column A and column B, there is a borderline. There is a line dividing A and B. So you go to that line. So you can see my mouse pointer there. Now I have explained one behavior of the mouse pointer. That when the mouse pointer is a thin hair, it's autofill. Now when the mouse pointer is a plus, but it has two horizontal edged arrows, it means that horizontal edge arrows means that I can resize horizontally, either to the left or to the right. So the most efficient, I can drag to the left or right, but the most efficient is to double click the border line between column A, the letter A, and letter B. When I double click, it will automatically fit the content of the cell to the width of the cell, the width of the column. Is that okay for you? Is it working now? Maria, is it working now? Hello. Okay, great. Now we move to the next section. So sales. Yes, yes, honorable. You dragged it to the right. Uh-huh. Yes, it's fine. It's fine. Yes, it's fine. It's fine. So you can drag or double click, but the most efficient is double click. And I'll explain why along the line. So sometimes you have about 5 columns, and each of the columns, some of the contents move to the next one. So in that case, you select all and just double click on one, and it will adjust all the columns at once. So the double click is the most efficient. You can drag, but double click is the most efficient. Okay. Okay. So we move to the sales column and we want to get arbitrary numbers. We don't want to waste time typing plenty things. So let's say this one is 4,000. 4,000 be small money. Okay, yeah, sure. Why? Okay. So let's say the January sales was 4,000. Okay, January sales was 4,000. Then each month the sales increased by 500. Okay, so February sales will be 4,500. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to enter 4,500 in cell B3, cell B3, enter 4,500 in cell B3. When you are done, let me know so I continue. Great. Now to ensure that each month sales increase by 500 cedis, 500 cedis, 500 cedis, 500 cedis. This is what you do. Remember, for the autofill for January, February, down to December, we only selected one cell. For this one, we know that we want Excel to have a pattern. We want Excel to know that between the first cell and the second cell, increase it by 500. So we have to select these two. When we select the two cells, we have defined the pattern or the scalar amount for increasing the sales. So please click, don't click at the left or the right, click in the middle of the cell and drag to the next cell where 4,500 is to select the two cells. Okay, select the two cells. You can use the shifts, control shift and the down arrow key to as well. So click and drag to select the two. If that is done, now autofill. So if I say autofill now, you know what to do. Place the mouse pointer at the lower right corner. When it turns to a hairy plus icon, click and drag to December, and voila. Without wasting much time, we invite 500, 600, 700. So it has increased each month's sales, subsequent sales by 500, by 500. This is for simulation purposes and demonstration, and to let you know that if you want to generate a pattern or sequence of numbers, Excel is rich for doing that. You can do that. Okay. Yes, David, the sales one. Okay. Have you entered 4,000 and 4,500? Okay. So select 4,000 and then a 4,500. Select the two cells. Do you know how to select them? Can you select both? Okay. Great. So whilst they are selected, place the mouse pointer on the lower bottom right corner. You will see this small square there. When you place the mouse pointer on the square, your mouse pointer behavior will turn into a thin, hairy plus or cross. When that is done, you can either double click or click and drag the handle down to autofill. When you do that, you would have increased them by 500. If are you using a mouse? Are you using a mouse or you're using a trackpad? Is it working for you now? Okay. So if you are using trackpad, if you are not using mouse and trackpad, let me see. Yeah, it's the same thing. It works the same thing. So for that one, you have to use one finger to hold down the trackpad and another finger to drag it down if you are not using a mouse. Great. Now, what if you want to increase by 2? The same thing. So 2, 4. I want to increase this one. I want to increase by 2. So I select these two, autofill, and it will be an increment of 2. Okay. So quickly, I'll delete this one. What if I want to do it by 1? Okay, I want to increase it by 1. So I want each of the months to be represented by its number designation. Okay, instead of these row numbers. So this is what we're going to do. We want to insert a column to the left of the month column. So in Excel, if you want a new column, you click on the column to the right. So we want one to be to the left of A. So you select A. So if I want a column to be to the left of B, I right click on B, and when I choose insert, it will move it to the left. Okay. Hope you understand that. So right click on column letter A. Right click on column letter A, and then you on from the shortcut menu, you have insert there. Click on insert. Then you get a column to the left of the column you right clicked. Okay, great. Then the name of the column is month number. Month number. Again, I'll double click so that I get the full name. Please, if you are here, let me know. Let me know. Okay, great. One, two. I need 5 people. 2 people are here. Yes, please. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. If you have any challenge, quickly let me know. Address it. 3. Okay. 2 more to go. I know that everybody's okay. If you are not talking, means that you're okay. Okay. So I think everybody is okay. So you enter one here. Remember, to be inefficient on your part, to want to enter 1, 2, 3. And then you want to enter 1, 2, 3 in Excel, like you want to enter 1, 2, 3 like that. Obin will say, "Are you seriously?" Ah, so if you come here and say you are using the autofill tool, my brother, it doesn't work. It gives you 1, 1, 1, 1. So we don't want 1, 1, 1. We want it's customers list, employees. We want to do 1, 2, 3 and do some things, but it's not working. How do you achieve that? So this is the trick. You hold down the control key and then autofill. By holding down the control key, you are increasing by 1. Okay. Who has been able to do it? And I'll clap for the person who has been able to do it. Okay, David Ampa, 1. Who has been able to do? 2, 3. Okay. Yes, please, the rest. Any challenge? Any challenge? Any challenge? 4. Five. Honorable E.T. Mensah and Marianne Ashon. We want to hear from you. Okay. So we have 30 minutes more. Yes, Honorable, are you okay? The 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 month number or which one? Okay, so I'll do the month number again. So please, have you entered 1 in the first cell under the month number? Have you entered 1? Please, have you entered 1? Okay. So if you have entered 1, place the mouse pointer on the lower right bottom, lower right corner. Yes, lower right corner of the 1 cell, the cell that has 1. Then hold down when it turns into this hairy cross or plus. Hold down the control key. If you hold down the control key, you see that the plus icon will be attached to the hairy cross, telling you that you are going to increase by 1 or by the number, yeah, by 1. Then click and drag. Once you hold down the control key, you click and drag down and you get the month number designation. Okay. Okay, yes, so start again. I've deleted mine. So have you clicked on 1? Okay. It's done now. Is it working now? Fantastic. Fantastic. Good, good. Okay. So we move to, remember I told you that the status bar too is useful for some statistics, summary statistics. Okay, what is the total sales for, let's say this one is for 2023. How do we get the total sales? Okay, so without even going to formulas and functions and all of that, we can select. So click on 4,000 under the sales column. Then do Control Shift down arrow. Remember the navigation key we learned. So you click on the first one, 4,000. Control Shift down arrow will select the data region in that column. Only the cells in that column that have data. Okay. So if the alternative is to click in the center, not at the left, to you click here, you will be auto filling. In fact, you will even be replicating the 4,000. Click in the center of the cell and drag down. The most efficient that I use is Control Shift, the arrow key is superb. And you see the usefulness of the Control Shift arrow keys when we start with real big data in Excel. Very, very useful. Where the click and drag will be inefficient. Okay. Now, whilst it's highlighted, look at the status bar and tell me the statistics that are there. Yes. Who is ready? Yeah, na wakasa bebree. Okay, then we'll give it to David Ampa. David Brown, you have spoken too much. It's okay. Okay, Ampa. Yes. What statistic can you see there? The average sales. So what's the average sales for 2023? 6,000. Okay. And then the next one is what? What does that mean? The counts, the number of observations for it. So there are 12 months. Okay. And then the next one is minimum. Of course, the lowest sales is 4,000 and the highest is 9,500. Then the other useful statistic, summary statistic, is sum, total sales for 2023. This is what senior management will be interested in. Charlie, what was our sales or profit? What was the total profit? Okay, great, great, great. So, what if we want to enter these formulas ourselves? Okay, so if we want to enter them ourselves, we come down here and let's leave one row. So go to the 15th row and type total. This one will be total sales, lowest sales, highest sales, average, 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 average sales, average sales. Good. Okay. So I type them under the B column rather. If you also type them under the A column initially, it's not a problem. You can select all. Then the mouse pointer behavior, 4 edge arrows is for movement. So when my mouse pointer turns into 4 edge arrow on the border of my selection, I can drag to the right to reposition the contents. I hope you got that. Okay, I'm waiting for you. When you are done up to average sales, let me know so we can kick start. 1 is done, 2 is done, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, so we want to enter the formula ourselves. In Excel, a formula is preceded by either an equal sign or a plus. So it's not always is equal sign is not the only thing when you enter. Excel knows you are entering a formula. So you can either begin your formula by an equal sign or plus. So when I begin by typing plus and I type the word sum, Excel knows that I am entering a formula. If I begin by typing equal to and type the word sum is the function name, Excel knows that I'm entering a formula. Okay, so it's not only the equal sign, it's equal sign or plus sign. Very critical, very important at any point in time. But the one that people know and they are used to and they do it, they use is the equal sign. But equal sign is not the only one. Okay. So a formula starts with an equal sign or a plus sign, followed by a function name, then into brackets the function argument. So function argument will be what you want to add, what you want to multiply, what you want to subtract, what you want to divide. So here our argument will be the 4,000 up to the 9,500. Okay. So if I want to add these things up, okay, I can say equal to. So please, let's go. Type equal to. We will not start with a function based formula. We are going to do this one individually. So you type equal to. At this point, you need to be at my pace. So if you are not here, can you alert me? Let me make sure everything is in view. Good. So equal to, then remember total is plus. So we are going to add this plus this plus that plus that plus that. This is inefficient, but I'm using this to show you some key things here. Okay. So I click on C2, then I press the plus key, click C3 plus 5, C4 plus, like that. Okay, so please you can be doing this plus, 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 plus. Hey, the last one no plus. Up to C13, and each of them are colored. Okay, so please do that. C2 plus C3 plus C4 plus C5 plus C6 plus C7, 8, 9 up to C13. When you are done, press the enter key and get the total value of what? 8,100. Okay, please, is it working for everybody? Hello? One, two, three. Okay. If it's not working, let me know. But these are the basics. From next week, we are not coming to the basics. Okay. So, what's this? I want to double click so you get to see the formula. So, what this is doing is that it's picking the cell references of each here and adding them. Okay, the cell references of the cells here. I could do the same thing with a function and use comma to separate them. So if I use a function name, so let's do that one together again. So because it's total sales, just move to the next column, column D. I'm in D15. Type equal to sum, bracket opens, and then click on 4,000, comma, 5,000, comma, this, comma. So you click on each of them and then you use comma to separate them. So you see that when you use a function name, what you use is the arguments. Or the function name, this sum tells Excel that you are adding. So you don't need any operator here as the plus operator, because the sum function tells Excel that I want to sum numbers. And these numbers are the arguments for the function. So this one too will give me the same value. Okay, the same value. This one I use the function called sum. The first one, I didn't use the function, I used the operator and operands. So I use the operator, the plus, and the operands are the cell references. Okay. All of these are not the most efficient way. They are too long a process. Okay. However, you still have to be introduced to them. There are some instances you have to understand the mechanism behind them. Okay. Now look at the second one that use the function. You realize that it is summing from C2 to C13. So C2 is increased by 1 up to C13. Okay. So we can turn this one into what is called a range. So we can say that equals sum C2 and replace what is in between C3 to C12 with a colon. So colon means is to a range C2 colon C13. And Excel will know that this is a range and this is what we want to do. It means I want to sum from the values in C2 up to C13. Okay, range, range. Like how old are you? Give me a range of your age. Oh, I am between 25 to 35. That is your range. Okay. So I can guess that you are within that. Huh. So let's do that. That's the most efficient way of writing formula or functions in Excel. So you type equal to sum open parenthesis, and we are doing it the hard way. So if I want to sum from C, remember C2 is to what? C13. I click on C, the first one, bring the colon, and then click on the last one. And as I click on the last one, you realize that it highlights the data region where I am summing. I close the parenthesis, hit the enter key, and I get the same answer. I'm showing you different approaches. So from today, the approach that is efficient is what you'll be using. And sometimes you need to know the fundamentals. Okay. Now remember this one, I click on the first and the last to get the range written. I can also click and drag. So the next approach is to click and drag to write the range as the input for the sum function. So equals sum bracket opens. Now I click on 4000 and drag down. As I click and drag down, it writes the range for me. This is the one that you'll be using most often. But if the rows are too many, then this one too becomes inefficient. So along the line, we'll learn how you can use the entire column, select the entire column at a go as input for your formula when you know that there are no other extraneous values. Okay. Again, if it comes to sum, these are not the most efficient. So I'm going to select all of these and drag them to the right. So I get my space here. So select all like this. Make sure place the mouse on the borderline and drag to the next cell. So you have the cell right after total sales on the right empty. Please, everybody should be here where I am because I'm going to teach you the most efficient one for calculating total sales. For calculating total sales. Okay, fantastic. So, if you are not confirming, does it mean that you are not here? Or okay, right. We just left with 30 minutes and we'll be out of here. I'll leave you to enjoy your life, your weekend. All right. So whilst I am in cell C15 now, that's the cell to the right of total sales. The most efficient is to do what is called the auto sum. So alt and the equal to sign, hit enter, and bam, it gives you the answer. So alt equal to types the thing for you, and you are good to go. Alt equal to, alt equal to. Is it working for you? So I do it again. I click here, I do my alt and the equal to sign and hit enter. That's it for me. This is the most efficient for doing summation. And this one only works when the data you are summing are above. Okay, this data, the values are above. So it will work. If I come here and do alt equal to, what does it want to? So it doesn't know. It doesn't know what it should sum unless I come and input it, and then that's it for me. Okay. Now we move to the lower sales. So we know how to write functions, we know how to write range. So you type equal to lowest, the function name is minimum. So you type equals min. As you are typing the name of the function, you get this. This is called IntelliSense. So you get this IntelliSense with the list of the functions that begin with min and tells you what it does. Min returns the smallest number in a set of values. It ignores logical values and text, so it should be numerical. So this open the brackets, or you double click on the function, it will open the parenthesis for you. So when you have this, you have to come and use the click and drag to select the range for the cells. We know that it's from C12 to C13. Close the parenthesis and hit enter. And the minimum sale, as we realize from the status bar, is 4,000. Okay, is it going well? Okay. Now higher sales is maximum. So you type equals max. Max comes, I double click, and then I can click here and drag up to 4,000. Rise the range for me, hit enter, and I'm good to go. Okay. The last one is average. So now you know the pattern. The only thing that changes here is the name of the function. I will explain later the statistical implication of average, highest, and lowest, I think in the third week or so. So we um, go to average, you type equals average, and sometimes me, I cheat. I can autofill this one down here, and I know it's C12 to C13, C2 to C13. I change the number and I change the name of the function. It's sometimes it's efficient, other times too it's not. If I see this, I can ignore because I know I did the right thing. So the average sale is 7,000, and then the maximum is 9,500. Okay, you do Control S to save your work. Control S to save your work. Okay, in the next 10 minutes, we're going to do worksheets formatting or cell formatting. So type activity, rename sheet 2 to activity 2 sheets formatting. So it's still formatting, right? Sheet formatting. Okay, sheet formatting. I need everybody to be on board in the next 9 minutes, and we can close. Maybe I be do piano with this one. When it's 12, we can close. 4 hours is a lot. 4 hours. Please ensure that you are here. You are at the same place as I am. As I am. Okay. Okay. So the first one that we had, this activity one, when you look at it, the data is too close to the edge. Fortunately, this one is numbers. So when you type, Excel aligns numbers to the right and text to the left. So usually categorical data are left aligned, numerical data are right aligned. So because these ones are numerical data, you get to see that they are right aligned and you don't really struggle. But when you have data that starts with categorical data, you give some kind of headache to the viewer when you don't have a margin. Okay, when you straight away start from typing here in the A column. So ideally, when you set up a worksheet, you use the A column as the margin, just like Microsoft Word has top, left, bottom, and right margin. Okay, so right click on column A. Okay, when you right click on column A, you click on column width. Column width. Okay, I hope everybody is there. Column width. Depending on your screen resolution, you might have 8.11, 8.24, 13 point something, 17 point something. Whatever you have, at least make sure the first value is changed from whatever it is to 2. So I will go for 2.11, 2.11, 2.11. Make sure you have gone for same. Then click on OK. When you click on OK, you get to see that, oh, um, this left side, you will not enter anything there to serve as a margin for your users. And then the second row too, you will not, the first row, you will not enter anything. So you leave the first row, you leave the first column. And it looks like the size of the height of the first row is close to the width of the first column. So we'll leave this and this empty. So I can start typing from the second row, V2, or the second cell in the second row. Okay, the second cell in the second column. Okay, so we want to enter and format data about 2023 expenses. Then we can predict, based on that, we can make some prediction for 2024 quickly in the next 5 minutes before we close. So here I need you to type fast. So type expenses, expenses. This is the heading or caption for your worksheet. Expenses calculation dash 2023. Expenses calculation dash 20, my numbers of 2023. Okay, so I need you to type very fast, very fast. Okay, I think it's first quarter. Expense calculation, first quarter 2023. So based on this historical data, I want to forecast or predict or project. Okay, so I think this one, the key statistic is to project by some given percentage our expenses for the first quarter of 2024. So our expense categories are this. So expenses, our expense categories, this one, because I typed that expense category. So give a heading like expenses below. I think it would be nice if you leave a row at the top. So start typing from row 4. Then January is first quarter. So I autofill up to March. So the autofill that we learned, you apply it. You don't type January, February, March. You'll be an amateur or an ambassadorian. Then the row headings are the row headings for the expense categories: advertising, rent, supplies, salaries, and utilities. Okay, and utilities. Okay, please type fast. For this one is 4,600, 2,100, 1,300, 16,000, and then 500 for utility. I use the tab key to move to the right and the up arrow key to move to February. I want to enter February's on. So February 4,200, 2,100, 2,100, 1,200, 16,000, three zeros, and 600. Right arrow key, tab key, up arrow key. I mean March 5,200, 2,100, 1,400, 16,500, 6 Oha. Okay, and then we'll have our row totals here, and then we also have our 2023 column totals. Okay, so I want you to type. Okay, then when we are done, we'll do our projection. 2024 budget or expense projections will be here. So we're going to project for the next 3 months based on what has been happening historically. Okay, uh, it's 12 o'clock. If you want to close now, that would be nice. But make sure you have entered this data so that at least next week uh, we can start from here. You know that the data is entered. So when you are done entering the data, let me know. Everybody, make sure you have the data entered. And then, okay. So do you want us to finish this one or we should close? Okay, so one person says we can finish. I think it will take us like okay, to take us like 5 or 10 minutes to finish. Okay. So two people say we can finish. Man, okay, we can finish. Okay, then let's finish this one quickly. Let's finish this one so we don't carry over. This today has been a little slow, right? It's the first day. Okay, so remember we are formatting this worksheet as a professional data analyst. And if you have seen any finance person, correct finance person who understands IT and use software, you will see that there's a way finance people organize their files and their arrangement, their Excel files and all of that. Okay. There's a standard we format financial data. And this is financial data. There's a format we do that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so we use what we call cell styles. Remember, I said these are column headings, okay? And this is the main heading for our work. So we start with the main heading for our work. The expenses calculation is the main heading. Kindly click on it and then make sure you're on the home tab. If you think I'm moving fast, please alert me. So click where you have expenses calculation. That is cell B2. Click on the home tab, then locate the styles command group. The styles command group. You see cell styles. I am there. I've clicked on the caret. Now I've explained what a chevron is. This small, tiny rectangular or rectangle thing, the isosceles something, is called carets. What we use to raise the power in IT, we call it caret. So this caret, okay, click on it, and then opens up the cell styles. This is a heading. So heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, any one of them. But I think I prefer heading 4. If you want heading 1, heading 2, that's okay. The difference is that from heading 1 to heading 3, there, there are underlines. Then heading 1 gives a larger font size and decreases as we get to heading 4. So you either have the option to choose these headings or you can choose the title. Okay, so let's go for the title. Let's go for title because that's the title for our work. So title, and then the font size, make it 24, 24, 28. Okay, no, it's too big. 22. Okay, the font size, you make it 22, and then you bolden it. Okay, 22, and bolden it. Okay, great. I hope everybody is at where I am. So that's the title of our worksheet. We have formatted it with a cell style. Now we are going to our headings. These are column headings from expenses horizontally to the row totals. They are called column headings. Then advertising to 2023 column totals are row headings. Okay, so you select the column headings, that is from expenses to row totals. Select those headings. Go to cell styles under the styles command group. Then here you get to choose either heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. I think I prefer heading 3 for this. So I'll go for heading 3. And our worksheet is taking shape for financial data analysis. It's taking shape. Okay. Then usually I get a line at the top. So I'm going to draw a border line at the top. This one gave me, the heading 3 gave me a bottom border. This blue underline here is called bottom border. Okay. So there's a top border, left border, right border. Okay. So select the column headings again. Then under the font command group, below the bolding command, bold command, you see the border icon. Click at the caret to the right. I want a top border, but this top border will be thin. If I select top, it will apply it, but it will not be thick. So I'm going to draw the border myself. So I go to line style. I'll choose, I think I'll choose this one. And then it will give me the opportunity to drag to my right and draw. When you are done, press the escape key to effect the changes. Okay. Is it working? Are we good? Can I make progress? Fantastic. Say, me so baka say juma, then means that the men are okay. Okay. So in the next 5 minutes we'll be done. All right. Then we come to the row headings. These row headings must be delineated from the values. Okay. One of the easiest one is just apply bold. Okay, you bolding it, or you go to the cell styles and let me see which one I'll go for. Okay, I can go for heading 4. Okay, so I can go for heading 4. Heading 4. So you either bolding or you go for heading 4. The option is yours. I went for heading 4. Okay, the next setting is the column totals. So this column totals, in fact, that's 2023 column totals rule is called rule totals, or the totals rule in Excel and in financial data analysis. So there's a format for that. So you go to the cell styles, then you see total. If you have seen any financial person working in Excel, you see that, oh, Charlie, correct one, the correct one, not the wayside one. You get to see that any sheet they present to management, it is formatted nicely like this. Or you get any financial statement of the banks, you get to see that they format their tables. If there's any table, they format it in a particular way, and this is one of the ways that they format them. Okay, so um, this is that. I think the last one has to do with this, the 2024 budget projections. So we'll format it with the total format as well. The total format. Okay. This is fantastic. We have formatted it. What is left is the calculations and the projection. And that will take us like 2 minutes. Pa, 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 pa. We ask our questions and we are done. Okay. The last thing we do before we do our calculations, as for sum, everybody knows how to do sum. So it's not a problem. You do this one, you do this. Okay. Is to hide the grid lines. These horizontal and vertical lines are called grid lines. It's the intersection of the horizontal and vertical lines that give us a cell. Okay. So if it's financial data, if it is dashboard that we are designing, you hide the grid lines. Okay. Since we have done this, there's no need for the grid lines to be there. So go to the view tab, the view ribbon, under the show command group. So view, I am on view. You can check my own view. Then this is show command group. Show command group is a second command group. You see formula bar, headings, and grid lines. If I turn off the headings, the A, B, C, D, and the 1, 2, 3 will go. For now, we want them to be there. When we do our dashboard, we'll turn them off. Then if I turn formula bar, it goes away, but we need it for now. What we don't need is a grid line. So turn off the grid lines and see how beautiful it is. So going forward, when you enroll for financial data analytics, we'll be doing this. And we'll be doing a lot. We'll be doing a lot of analysis with financial data. We'll do simulation, optimization, and modeling, and all of that. Okay, now this is beautiful. This is how we format financial data, budget, expenses. In fact, not only finance. Okay, most organizational data is finance. Marketing is still money. Advertising is money. Everything is money. If you want to present it like into management, you always ensure that you format them. Okay. All right. So this is easy. I want to do the row totals. I use my auto sum. So now you know how to do it. So please use auto sum. I hit enter, and then I autofill this one. I autofill, and I am good to go. So I autofill up to this. Like I said, if you do this in seconds, you are done. Please, are you done? So when you get one, you just autofill it, and that's this what makes Excel so flexible, so fantastic, and so much of a powerful tool. You don't need to do it for each rule. So I did it. I used the Alt. So in case you missed it, I click on this Alt equal sign, hit enter. I get it. I autofill up to utilities. So I have it up to utilities. Are we good? Do you all have it? Are we good up to this stage? Okay. Okay, so only one person is good. It's left with 7 people. Started with 12. Okay. All right. Then I come to the column totals to, I'm using the auto sum, alt equal to bam. I have it, and I auto fill to the right. So I have the column totals for each row. See how it looks so nice, and we see the totals are differentiated from the raw values. Okay, so this is data. This is the data region. This is the information region. Okay, good. You said we should finish. Okay, so let's finish. So the last one is the projections. Please confirm if you are all up to this. So I can build in this one so that they are also different from the rest. Please, are you up to this stage? If you're up to here, we just do the projections and we are good to go. In the next 2 minutes, I'll be done. Talking for 4 hours. It's no joke. Yes, have you done the column totals and the row totals, please? Are you done? Are we okay? Do we need any assistance? Okay, so silence means you are okay. Um, Now, the projections, the 2024 projections. So, this is it. We can project that, and management always do this. If we look at historical data, maybe chances are that the difference between um, each year's um, each year's first quarter budget is maybe 5% or 3%. So by what we have, we want to project a 3% increase in our budget for 2024, 3% or 4% or 5%. So I think I'm going for 5%. So 5% increment. Okay, so come down here and type increment, right? Increment, colon, and then move to the next cell, which is C15, and 5%. 5%. So 5% is 5 over 100, right? 5 over 100. I prefer, as we go on next week, I'll take my time to explain all of this again. So you can enter 5%, but if you enter 5%, that 5% will be the value of the increment. However, we want at one go, when we write the formula here, we want at one go how much overall, what will be our projected expenditure for January 2024, not the value by which it will increase. So knowing that last year January is 24,500, that is 100%. 5% increment will mean that January 2024 will be increased, or the value will be 105%. Okay, so I can type 105 or 1.05. So I'm going to do the calculation, equals into brackets, is it 5 divided by 100, okay, times 100 or so. Oh, 5 divided by 100 is 0.05, yes, plus 1. Okay, so you type equals into bracket 5 divided by 100, which gives you 0.05, plus 1. 1 is the same as 100%, please. Then gives you 1.05. So when we multiply 1.05 by 24,500, we will get the projected expenditure for January 2024. Great. So equals, then click on the cell reference for last year January's own, then asterisk, or you could use the product function, asterisk, you click on the cell reference for this, which is mine is C15, hit enter, and you get that this one is 25,724. Please let me know if it's working for you or if you have this stage. That's the projection. If you are done, let me know, please. If you are done, let me know. This just this section. Okay. Do you have the 1.05? Okay. So type equal to under the to the right side under January for 2024 projection. Then click when you after you've typed equal to, click on the 2023 column total for January, which is 2,400 and 24,500. When you are done with that, you press the asterisk. The asterisk means you are multiplying. You press the asterisk key on your keyboard, then you click on 1.05. That cell, you click on it, it will copy the cell reference. You hit the enter key, and it gives you the projected value. Okay, great. Now you autofill to the right, but you have challenges. You have some being 000 because of something we call absolute reference. So autofill to the right. Then when you get the 00, I'll correct it. But the absolute reference is for next week. I will explain what absolute reference is. But at least today, first week, you get a feel of what you can use Excel for and some techniques that you can use to analyze data. Okay. Simple thing. Yeah, simple thing. Okay. So this one is giving us 000 because when I check, you see any number times any huge number times 0 is 0. What is here is 0. So it's doing what is called relative referencing. I don't want to go into the 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 theory of that. I'll do that one next week. So to correct this, double click on the value for January 2024 where you have the C10 times C15. The C15 is the one that has the fixed value. This value must not change. So we're going to fix that reference. To fix it, let's put a dollar sign before C and another dollar sign after C, which will be before the um, the row number. So fixing that cell reference is known as absolute referencing. You put a dollar sign before the column letter and a dollar sign before the row number. You hit enter and you autofill and it works. But your mapon why? If it works for you, fantastic. If it doesn't work, fantastic. God willing, next week we'll go over this one and then we'll continue with the topics for next week. Please, any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? Okay, fantastic. In the absence of no questions, thank you very much. Today is the first week, but we don't waste time first week for orientation. We start the raw work first week. So, first day, you have been exposed. Look at the outline and then go to, I'll send our YouTube channel. There are some videos that can help you as well to prepare for the subsequent lectures.